First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Welcome to WUFT News First at 5. I'm Megh Porterfield.
And I'm Jensen Young. Thanks for joining us. Today, Florida Governor Ron Desantis signed a bill to ban most abortions after 15 weeks instead of 24 weeks.
As drafted, the Florida bill has no exceptions for rape or incest, only if the mother's life is in danger or the fetus has a fatal condition. DeSantis signed the bill at an event in Kissimmee. He described the new law as, quote, the most significant protection for life that has been enacted in this state for a generation. Florida's current law allows for abortions up to the 24th week of pregnancy. The law is supposed to take effect July 1st, but there will be legal challenges. There are two legal hurdles. The Supreme Court would have to approve a similar law from Mississippi or, more generally, overturn the Roe and Casey precedents. The Florida Supreme Court would have to roll back a 1989 decision covering abortion under the Privacy Clause of the state constitution. But both courts are considered more conservative now than when those rulings were made.
In Clay County, a man in custody for holding an elderly couple captive for 2 days has confessed to murdering someone else. We get this report from a fellow CNN News sharing partner, WJXT.
The arrest report of Aubrey Lumpkin shows he called 911 and advised he was a piece of expletive and was turning himself in. He went on to tell the dispatcher he had done horrible things and tied up two elderly people, then the crime we didn't know about. After he was taken into custody, he said that he was willing to talk and that he had murdered someone, which likely is the reason Clay deputies and FDLE investigators have spent 2 days on this property. The report does not clarify who he claims to have murdered. I spoke with a woman who was raised by the now elderly couple as a foster child. Shayla Richardson tells me by phone she can't believe the couple she considers parents were bound by duct tape on their arms, legs, and faces and were left extremely dehydrated, covered in feces, malnourished, and suffering from infections.
They were awesome parents. They, loved me unconditionally. They made sure, I got everything I wanted or needed, and, they were always there. So, yeah, they were great.
What do you think about hearing about this tragic news?
I can't even fathom the feeling that I have. I'm just kind of devastated.
The report says Lumpkin didn't act alone and had a co-defendant who hasn't been named. They took the couple's bank card and traveled to this nearby ATM several times, withdrawing $3,000. I spoke to a former detective. The Clay County Sheriff's Office says it's trying to determine if there was a second suspect. James Brown tells me they're not going to have a whole lot of details in the arrest report because it is an open investigation and there's information that is still coming out.
The police report says a couple is still recovering at Orange Park Medical Center after suffering from lesions and infections.
The suspect in the New York subway attack is being held without bail after making his first court appearance. Franks James was captured the day after the shootings. James is suspected of setting off 2 smoke bombs and then opening fire on the Brooklyn train. 10 people were shot, but all are expected to survive. In court, the prosecutor said the attack was premeditated and carefully planned. Hundreds of people took to the streets in Michigan after Grand Rapids police released a video of a deadly officer-involved shooting. The graphic video shows an officer scuffle with Patrick Loyola, eventually shooting him from behind. Protesters say the officer escalated the situation and they want him arrested. They carried signs and chanted, calling for justice for Loyola.
The weather has been quite amazing this week, although it did rain a bit this morning.
Yeah, I'm hoping we'll stay dry for Easter. Eric and Nicole joins us now with a look at your weather.
Yeah, we had a long, nice break from storms this past week. Things right now, Not looking too great. We do have some mostly cloudy skies moving on in, and it is feeling like 82 degrees, but we will be staying dry, and I'll get to that in just a moment. Current temperature sitting in the lower 80s. I'm going for 82 in Gainesville, 82 in Ocala, 79 for Palatka, 82 in St. Augustine. Now tonight we do have the big orange and blue game, so kickoff is at 7:30, and we will have partly cloudy skies with temperatures nearing 80 degrees, and then around halftime we'll be staying warm and humid around 73 degrees, and then as the final and the game ends, we will still have a few passing clouds. Now stay tuned for my upcoming forecast, and I'll let you know if we can expect any rain for your Easter weekend. Back to the desk.
A survey shows stress in the nursing profession, with 34% planning to leave their current roles by the end of the year. Even with the turnover, Florida remains one of the states with the most registered nurses, with over 187,000. Nurses list burnout and stress as two of the biggest reasons for the change. Many facilities are still trying to fill the gaps with travel nurses. In Florida, they can make anywhere from $2,300 to $3,300 per week. Former travel nurse Chrissy Megh says the higher pay balances the demanding nature of a traveling career.
I know I hear a lot of talk about how travel nurses are getting paid like too much, and it's not sustainable for the hospitals. But travel nurses do make a lot of sacrifices.
Megh shared that travel nurses typically only get 1 day of orientation at each new hospital. In addition, nurses sometimes only get a week's notice to uproot their lives and move somewhere new. Megh, are we getting some new congressional districts? I'm registered to vote in District 10 in Orlando. Do you think that will change?
Well, I know a lot of people are going to be impacted by the new redistricting map. Coming up on WUFT News First at 5, we'll tell you about a new plan to redraw Florida's congressional districts and how that may impact the next election. Stay with us.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Welcome back. Now bringing you the latest political headlines in Florida and beyond. This is PolitiTalk. Let's get into it. President Biden has signed legislation to build statues honoring former Supreme Court Justices Sandra Day O'Connor and Ruth Bader Ginsburg. The bill was approved in the Senate by unanimous consent and the House by a 349-63 vote. The legislation requires the statues to go up in a prominent location on Capitol grounds. O'Connor and Ginsburg were the first two women to serve on the highest court in the land. President Biden announces plans to send another $800 million in military aid to Ukraine. The president said the United States will continue to provide Ukraine with the capabilities to defend itself. The news comes after a phone call between Biden and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Officials are warning of a potentially bloody new phase in the war focused on the eastern regions of Ukraine. Earlier this week, President Biden announced new restrictions on homemade guns, so-called ghost guns, which do not have serial numbers. Some Parkland families took part in the ceremony in Washington Monday, including Fred Guttenberg and Manuel Oliver, parents who have become outspoken advocates for stricter gun control. President Biden's restrictions would add background check requirements to the purchase kits used to make the weapons, and serial number requirements for those kits. In state news, Governor Ron Desantis is pushing a new congressional redistricting plan. The plan would dismantle North Florida's black-held district and overall could help Republicans pick up 4 additional seats. Critics argue the new plan is blatantly partisan, but DeSantis says his administration is complying with the law. State lawmakers are meeting in a special session next week to pass something which will then face court scrutiny. That's your PolitiTalk for today. For more in-depth national news, stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up at 7.
In other news, billionaire Elon Musk has offered to buy Twitter. Musk is offering about $41 billion for the media platform. The offer was disclosed in a regulatory filing today. In a letter to Twitter's chairman, Musk wrote, quote, "Since making my investment, I now realize the company will neither thrive nor serve this societal imperative in its current form. Twitter needs to be transformed as a private company." He went on to say, "My offer is my best and final offer, and if it is not accepted, I would need to reconsider my position as a shareholder." It's no surprise that our community has a significant agricultural industry.
People come from all over the state to farm on our land. WUFT's Christina Pugliese explored one farm's journey to using the land in a more ethical way. Christina, what did you find?
It felt great to get out of the station and onto our beautiful land. I went to Fruitful Earth Farms where I discovered a relatively new type of farming. It's a method used by farmers to keep the soil healthy. Take a look.
Abandoning the city life for this. It's something we've all thought about doing at some point or another. Farmer and owner of Fruitful Earth Farms, Anna Wieg, made her daydreams into a reality.
The city kept getting more and more crowded and more houses were being built around us, and it took us longer and longer to get to and from work. One day we just decided to put the house up for sale.
She left her office job in 2017 for 75 acres in Lake City, Florida. When her and her husband moved in, they wanted to do farming ethically. So they turned to regenerative farming techniques. The term means
implement practices that in the end regenerate the soil, help filter water into the waterways. It sequesters carbon and it helps with global warming.
On her farm, Anna rotates her animals to different pastures. The cows go first to graze, then the chickens, and finally, the sheep. This keeps the soil healthy all year round. Assistant Professor of Horticultural Sciences at the University of Florida, Danielle Treadwell, works with farmers like Anna. She promotes 4 practices to keeping soil healthy.
Add organic matter, reduce tillage, keep the soil surface covered, and keep a living root in the soil for as much of the year as you possibly can.
Anna has solar-powered water pumps on her farm as well. Fruitful Farms is relatively new, and according to Anna, there's a lot of room for improvement. She wants the farm to run more efficiently and ethically in the future.
Minimizing the inputs that we bring from outside, making sure that we are producing as much forages as we can, and that comes with better rotations and pasture management.
Fruitful Earth Farms says over the past year they have had some issues maintaining some of their practices. However, they say their community's love and support at local farmers markets has gotten them by. Now, back to the desk.
Well, we have a big game in Gainesville tonight, and hopefully we'll be staying dry.
Yeah, the campus cam is showing some clouds are starting to move in for this evening. When we come back, Erica and Nicole will have your full Easter weekend forecast.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Welcome back. We've had lots of sunshine this past week. We did have some stray showers this morning, but other than that, we've been staying pretty quiet here. Campus cam showing partly cloudy skies, the sunshine coming right on through, and it is feeling like 82 degrees here in Gainesville. And for the rest of north central Florida, temperatures sitting in the lower 80s. So I'm going for 82 for Stark, Gainesville, Ocala, and the Villages. I'm going for 78 in Palatka, 80 in St. Augustine, and 83 in Jacksonville. Now, as we head into the evening, temperatures won't be cooling off too much as those cloudy skies will persist on in. We'll be going down into the mid to lower 60s tonight. Now, when you wake up tomorrow morning, we do have a chance for some patchy fog just west of I-75. You can see all that fog covering that area. And then 2 hours east over in Palatka, we do have a chance for some showers in the morning, but low temperatures for the most part sitting in the lower to mid 60s. I'm going for 65 in Gainesville, 65 Ocala, 66 for the Villages, and 65 for Crystal River. Now high temperatures picking right back up into the 80s. I'm going for 84 in Gainesville, 84 in Micanopy, 84 also in Hawthorne, 83 in Waldo. Now heading down south to Marion County, a little bit warmer, 86. I'm going for Ocala, 86 in Bellevue, and 88 for the Villages. Now we do have a cold front that is stalling over our area, so let me go ahead and track that out for you right now. So here is that cold front coming along here. We do have a chance for some showers early Friday morning, but then as that front continues to push on through, our chance for showers will start to decrease, but not going to rule out a lingering shower or two. And then Friday afternoon, that front will push out of our area and some easterly winds will persist on in, bringing in some moisture to our area. Now this week, again, we do have that cold front stalling over us tonight and into tomorrow, bringing the chance for some stray showers into Friday. and then storms are possible for Easter weekend. So giving you a bigger outlook here, take a look here. Sunday and Monday is going to be your greatest chance for some thunderstorms, but temperatures are going to be remaining in the 80s, and then Tuesday and Wednesday we will finally start to clear back up. Back to the desk.
Hey Jensen, the orange and blue game is finally back tonight. Are you excited?
I am pumped. I cannot believe it's been 2 years since spring football. Stick around for sports when we come back to hear the rundown of how the spring scrimmage will work and to see which team you'll be rooting for.
Welcome to sports. I'm Jenica Clerveaux. Tonight, the Gators will kick off the Billy Napier era when they play the orange and blue game tonight. We'll get a glimpse of the Gators as they prepare for the 2022 fall season. The roster as well as the team staff will be divided in half, even entering the field from separate locker rooms. All eyes will be on the quarterbacks as Team Orange will be led by Ohio State transfer Jack Miller, and former Eastside High School quarterback Anthony Richardson leads the way for Team Blue. Gators head coach Billy Napier is excited about students getting their first look at the new team.
Obviously, it's an open invitation. It's free. We're excited about it. This is our first opportunity to really engage the student body. Went for a few walks this week, and every kid I met while I was out there, I asked them if they're coming to the spring game on Thursday night. And we got a lot of yeses, so we're excited about that.
This will be the first time in 2 years Florida will hold a spring scrimmage. Kickoff is set for 7:30. Gators gymnastics will be in Fort Worth tonight in the NCAA semifinals. Florida clinched the SEC in March. After a dominant performance in the Auburn Regional, the Gators are among 8 teams battling for the championship. Half are from the SEC: Alabama, Auburn, Missouri, and Florida. The other 4 teams are Oklahoma, Utah, Minnesota, and Michigan. With the top 2 finish, the Gators would advance to the Final Four competition on Saturday. The semifinal will be broadcast tonight at 6 on ESPN2. 9th-ranked Florida softball will travel to Oxford tonight to begin their series with Ole Miss. The Gators look for redemption after dropping their last SEC series to Alabama. The team is currently 8-7 in SEC play. For offense, Florida will look to Skylar Wallace, who is the only player in the nation with at least 40 hits, 40 runs scored, 30 RBI, and 30 stolen bases. Wallace is also closing in on the program's single-season stolen base record. The Rebels will enter the series coming off of an SEC series loss of their own. Ole Miss dropped their road series to Kentucky to fall 5-7 in conference play. Finally, in Gators men's basketball news, players are still coming and going for new coach Todd Golden. Freshman guard Kwesi Reeves entered his name in the transfer portal. The former top 30 prospect averaged 5.5 points per game. Shortly before Reeves decided to leave, LSU's Alex Fudge announced his decision to come home to Florida. Fudge is a Jacksonville native. That's it for your sports update. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Jenica. Particles of Apollo 11 moon dust recently went up for sale at a New York auction. The samples were collected by Neil Armstrong during the 1969 Apollo 11 mission. They are the only ones sold legally after being authenticated by NASA. One lucky bidder was able to snag the dust for $504,000, well under the pre-auction estimate.
Before we go, one last check on the weather. Erica?
Looking ahead here at your weekend, we do have a cold front that is stalling tonight, which is leading to some stray showers into your Friday, and then storms are unfortunately possible for your Easter weekend. So taking a look here at your 6-day outlook, again, we do have a slight chance for some rain on Friday and Saturday, but then Sunday and Monday we do have thunderstorms in your forecast for Easter and the beginning of your next work week. But Tuesday and Wednesday we will start to clear up and temperatures will be near 80 degrees. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Erica. Well, BBC World News is on next, and the PBS News Hour is coming up at 7.
But your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. Have a good night.